Hello bookish people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. In today's video we are doing my last book haul of 2024. I am so excited about this book haul because there are so many great books in here, so many great new releases, so many great books I have read in here, and I'm really excited to talk about this. This is honestly probably one of my favorite book hauls I've done, just looking at the selection in front of me. Without further ado, let's get into it and let's get into my last book haul of 2024. Starting with my first stack here, which is honestly my shortest stack, we have The Songbird of the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. Honestly, I never even registered the title of this book even when I bought it. I was just like, oh, new Carissa Broadbent book, we're buying it. And now I'm realizing, oh my god, there's damage on it. It's okay, you can't see it on the spine. This is the third book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series. So the first two books in the series follow Rain and Orion and Rain, I think, something like that. Something, hopefully I get that right. But it's a duology following their love story, but the series isn't done. So it's an overarching series, but I think each two sets of two books follow specific characters. So now we're moving on to the best friend from the first duology, and I'm so excited because I really love that character. Can't wait to see what they get up to in here. Honestly, I bought this because I'm excited, but I'm also procrastinating because I kind of forgot the plot. So I need to be reminded of it, and then I will go into this one. Next book I picked up is Funny Story by Emily Henry. I read this when it came out. I bought it on Audible, and ever since I have been dying to get my hands on a physical copy. Finally, during one of Target's like buy two get one free sale, I decided to stack up on some books, and I got Funny Story because I needed it for my shelf. I rated this 5 stars. I really loved it. I'm sure everybody knows the synopsis of this book by now because Emily Henry is just one of those authors everybody reads. So yeah, just have to give my 2 cents on it. Loved it, rated it 5 stars, and needed a copy for my shelves. Okay, moving on to the next book. This was a thrifted book, and this is Richard Osman. This is The Last Devil to Die. This is the 4th book in the Thursday Murder Club series. So I have the first 3 books in the series. The other one, they're right here, but the third one is out there. Honestly, during Christmas, I take all my green, white, and red books and I put them out there on display, you know, for the Christmas vibes. And that one has a green spine, so it's missing. But this is the 4th book in the series. I have only read the first 2 books in the series. I have not read the 3rd book yet, really, because I just want to do a whole reread of the whole series. That's why I'm waiting to do it. So I wasn't planning on buying this, but when I came across a hardcover edition in the thrift store for $2, I just quite literally could not say no. So we have The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman. Have not read the synopsis of this book because I don't want to be spoiled because I haven't read the 3rd one. This is part of the same thrift haul. Okay, this was a really great thrift haul. The next book I bought at the same time, and that is The Fury by Alex Michaelides. Now, I listened to this audiobook back in January when the book came out. I really enjoyed it. I rated it 4 stars. And I've been waiting to come across it in the thrift store. I finally did, and I did not just come across a regular old edition of this book. I came across a signed edition of this book, so that was super fun. So in this book, you are following your main character, and he is the narrator of the story, and he has such a unique narrating style. It kind of reminds me in a way of Everyone in My Family Has Killed Somebody, kind of like a similar narration style in that way. Very unique, very fun. It was super intriguing. I enjoyed it. And he is on this private island with his friend who is like an ex-movie star. She's older, retired, and that part gave me kind of Evelyn Hugo vibes. The whole book is set up like a 5-act Greek tragedy play, and it just created a really unique, fun story that, even though it's a mystery thriller and I already read it, I needed it on my shelves because I would love to do a reread of this one. The next book I have is Bless Your Heart by Lindy Ryan. This is a horror novel, and this is the type of horror that I like. If you think about the horror genre, I feel like there's like spooky, scary horror, which is like fun, but then I feel like there's like action, serious horror, and then I feel like there's campy horror, okay? Like horror, but make it camp. And I feel like this is gonna be in the campy horror realm. We have this one, Vampires, takes place in the 90s in South Texas. And vampires take over a town in the 90s in South Texas. Yes, I think those are all the keywords that I heard when someone was pitching this book to me, and that's what made me grab it, put it in my cart, and buy it. Can't wait to read this one. It's blurbed by Josh Mallerman, and yeah, there we go. We have Bless Your Heart by Lindy Ryan. Next book I have is We Solve Murders by Richard Osman, and this one I got on Black Friday. During Black Friday, Barnes & Noble doesn't have a sale, but they do release a bunch of signed copies of their most popular books of the year, and I never bought this one when it released, and of course I was able to come across a signed edition on Black Friday. Super excited. I picked it up because I am a huge Richard Osman fan. Can I say that even though I've only read 2 of his books? I think I can still say it. Okay, I am am a fan, okay, because I was a fan of those two books. This moves away from the Thursday Murder Club series to just like another cozy mystery. I don't know if this is going to be a series, if it's a standalone or what, but there we go. We have another Richard Osman book. Honestly, he's just an auto-buy author for me at this point, and I couldn't say no to a signed copy. The next book I picked up is In the Company of Witches by Aruli Wallace. This is a cozy mystery following witches, and they run a bed and breakfast. Someone dies, and there's just like an investigation. You know how cozy mysteries go. I have not read this book. I was really feeling the vibes of this book during the fall, and I wanted to read it, and I told myself, go buy a physical copy. You don't care that it's a mass market paperback, like just go buy it and read it. I bought it. And I do care that it's a mass market paperback. Okay, I don't know. I don't like to read them. Why did I buy it? Why did I not just get it on Kindle? I think because I was like obsessed with the cover is why I had to buy a physical copy of it. This is a book, even though it has the cozy fall vibes, I will read any time of year because I am down for cozy fall times whenever the mood strikes me. I don't need to be in actual fall to do so, considering I live in Florida and fall just simply does not exist here. So we have In the Company of Witches. Can't wait to read this soon, and hopefully I'll get over my dislike of mass market paperbacks and finally read it. Next pile of books, we have Beach Read by Emily Henry. I was so excited when I got this book. This I also got at Target buying one of the buy two get one free sales that they did for Black Friday, and I needed this book because I want all my Emily Henry books to be in hardcover. So now we're just waiting on book lovers and people we meet on vacation to come in hardcover, and then I will have all of her books in hardcover, and that will be great. So we have this one. Now that I bought a new copy of it, I think that means I finally need to reread it. I rated this book 5 stars. I read it a couple of years ago, and this was honestly my very first adult romance I ever read, and it kind of like changed my life in a way because this is really what got me into transitioning from like YA books to adult books, and this and Anxious People were the ones that really pulled me into the like adult category out of the YA reading, and oh my god, I just love this so much. Rated it 5 stars. Moving on, this is actually my current read right now, and that is The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Allie Carter. I am currently on, I made it to page 126 yesterday, so the day before I was at 130, no. The day before I ended on page 38, yesterday I ended on page 126, and then hopefully I'll make some great progress in it today. This is a romance, cozy mystery, kind of like Knives Out style mystery. Also romance in here, as I mentioned, and so far I'm really enjoying it. It's fun, it's Christmassy, it's short, it's sweet. I don't know, I just have good vibes about it. I'll give a review when I finish it. Moving on to my September Book of the Month pick, we have Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. This is a romantasy novel, and I feel like once I pick this one up, I won't put it down. Like, I feel like this is one, even though it's like kind of thick to like read in one sitting, I feel like this is one I'm just going to binge read. I don't know why, I'm just getting binge reading vibes from this. It has to do with, it's a romantasy. I think Enemies to Lovers and Deadly Games, like all those things put together, sounds like I'm gonna be glued to the pages. I'm really excited to start this one, and I feel like I'm really gonna love it just based on other reviews I've seen of it, based on what I know what it's about. I'm sorry, I'm so bad at these types of videos because I don't give you full synopses because I'm someone who doesn't really read them. I'll read them or I'll just hear people talk about them. I'll grab keywords and I'm like, oh, that makes me want to read it, because I personally don't want to read a synopsis of a book. I feel like they can give too much away, and I like to be surprised by everything. So I'm not the best at describing, so I'll just give you keywords and why I bought it. Moving on to my most recent purchase, and that is Quicksilver by Callie Hart, and by recent I mean I bought it yesterday. So this book I bought yesterday because I know I said I was done buying books for the year. I don't need any more books. I don't need to add anything to my TBR. But I ended up buying a book for my brother's girlfriend for Christmas, and it was buy one get one 50% off. So of course I had to buy a book for myself, and I landed on Quicksilver because, you know, it's a really popular romantasy right now, and I have FOMO and I want to read what's popular. Plus, I just love the emo cover with the butterflies. Like, this is giving me everything right now. I absolutely love it. No idea what it's about. I haven't even read the back. Do not touch the sword, do not turn the key, do not open the gate. That's like all I've literally read of this book. I simply bought it based on the fact that I see everybody reading it. So no idea what it's about, but hopefully I'll love it. Moving on to the next book, we have A Pirate's Life for Tea by Rebecca Thorne. I am so excited to read this book. So this is book 2 in the Tomes and Tea cozy fantasy series. I read the first one, Can't Spell Treason Without Tea. Absolutely loved that book. I rated it 5 stars. It's cozy fantasy, but it has just the right amount of action in it. Also, there is a relationship in it, and what I love about the relationship in this book is like you just know they're gonna be together, right? So there's no relationship problems. The relationship is a part of the story. That's like a part of the sweetness of the story, but it's not a central like conflict or plot line. Like I love when a relationship can just exist and then things happen outside of it and the relationship is not the conflict. So that's what I really love about that one. The reason why I haven't read this, I thought I was going to read it right away. I didn't. And the reason for that is the first one takes place in their small town. This one, they're out at sea. So it's a different location, and I really love the villagers in the town that they live in, and I don't know that they're going to be in this book. So I feel like I'm like skeptical if I'm going to love this as much as the original, but still excited because I still love our 2 main girls in here. Moving on to another cozy fantasy, we have The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. This was my November Book of the Month pick. It's cozy fantasy. I think it's about a traveling fortune teller, something like that, which kind of gives me vibes of A Song for the Wild Bill by Becky Chambers, which I read a while ago. I listened to the audiobook. Kind of gives me similar vibes. Honestly, I bought this because the cover is absolutely stunning. Like, absolutely stunning. I love this cover. It is a work of art. I want it printed. I want to put it on my wall. I'm obsessed. So hopefully the vibes match the cover because it really was a cover buy. Moving on to the next book is one I actually read, and that is So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison. This was one of my aardvark picks, and what I really love about aardvark is now like one selection a month they're making them signed editions. So this one is signed, which is super cool. I was so excited to read this book because I read Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison and really loved it. Rated it 5 stars. Unfortunately, this one was more of a 3-star read for me. So this is about a girl who is unhappy in her relationship. Her best friend is also in a long-term relationship. They go on a girl's getaway, and during this they get into some situation that then turns them into vampires, and it's about their story from there. Now, the thing that I don't necessarily love about this book is there's no like plot, right? There's no like climax and then resolution and like that. No, it's just a series of events that happens to them, and it's about like them dealing with being vampires, and our main character is mad that she's a vampire. And I'm like, girl, like you're talking to a girl who like grew up on Twilight, grew up on Vampire Diaries, read all the Twilight books. Like, what do you mean you're mad that you got turned into a vampire? Like, I don't want to read about an ethical, moral vampire in my horror novel. Like, what is that? I know, like the main character was such like a Debbie Downer that I was not feeling her at all. But I didn't rate it less than 3 stars because honestly, I was entertained the whole time. Even if I was annoyed, I was entertained. The next 2 books I have are part of a series, and I have not read either of these books. And that is The Bridge Kingdom and The Traitor Queen by Danielle L. Jensen. I bought the first one because I was excited for it to come out. And then the second one I bought because, again, it was like one of the buy one get one deals, so I needed to fill up space to get the coupon or whatever. So I ended up getting this one. I think I'll love it. So I bought the Bridge Kingdom series because I read Fate Inked in Blood this year by Danielle L. Jensen, and oh my god, did I love that book so much. I rated it 4 stars or 4.5 stars, but I really enjoyed it. So I'm really excited to read A Curse Carved in Bone. But until A Curse Carved in Bone comes out, I need some Danielle L. Jensen to hold me over, which means I will be binging this series, which I do have self-restraint because the third one has already come out in paperback. They're releasing them like a month apart from each other, and I saw it at Target yesterday and I did not buy it. I was like, no, read the first 2 first. Then we can come back for the third one. So I did show restraint yesterday, but you know, I have the first 2. Next book I picked up is a non-fiction book, a rare time that I buy a non-fiction book, and that is the Turnaway study. This is 10 Years, 1,000 Women, and the Consequences of Having or Being Denied an Abortion by Dr. Diana Green Foster, PhD. So this book I picked up really just with all the current events going on. I live in Florida. The abortion amendment unfortunately did not pass. Also, we don't have a President-elect Kamala Harris, so there's going to be no movement on the Roe front on a national level. So I feel like it's a really great time to educate yourself or educate myself on this topic, and this I thought would be an interesting read, and I'm really excited to read it. And just a sad state of affairs that we have right now in Florida. Okay, this next book that I have is a classic, which I really don't plan on reading. I collect classics for my classic shelf to make me feel better about myself, to give me the illusion that one day I will read them, but will I ever? I don't really know, because I'm never in the mood to do so. But this one I had to buy. I had to buy it because I had no idea such a classics edition even existed. It's a Twilight edition of Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. And it says on here, Bella and Edward's favorite book. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this exists? Like, this is real? This was published? And then there's also Pride and Prejudice and Romeo and Juliet. So now I must collect them all. I must have the Twilight editions of the classics on my shelf. I came across this in a thrift store and I about died, and I just needed it for the gag. So there we go. We have Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Maybe one day I'll get around to it, especially now that I know it's Bella and Edward's favorite book. Like, how can I call myself a Twilight fan without reading Bella and Edward's favorite book? Moving on to the next pile, these are the ones that I had on display for like Christmas. I told you I grab all my Christmas color books, put them on display. Here we go. First book we have is Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. This is a Carvel holiday novella that I was not planning on buying until I opened it up and saw all the artwork in person and was like, oh, actually that's gorgeous. I must own it. I feel like it'll be a fun read. I really, really love the holiday edition set of Carvel, the all like white and red, and I wanted to buy the whole box set, but I had restraint. I was like, you don't need to spend money on that. You don't need to spend money on it. Just the one book. Just get the one book. You don't need all 4 books, and then you have the whole set up there. Like, what are you gonna do with those? You're just gonna donate them and spend more money? Like, no, you don't need to do that. Even though I wanted the whole holiday set, I settled for just the novella. So again, practicing restraint. The next book I have is The Women by Kristen Hanna. This was another thrift store find of mine. I was so lucky to come across it because it is a really recent release, and I'm very excited about this one. I already talked about it in my December TBR. It is a World War I. No, it's the Vietnam War. It's the Vietnam War. It's about a girl who goes, and I think she's like a nurse in the army for the Vietnam War, and it's a historical fiction. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little intimidated by Kristen Hanna, but that one I will be listening to via audio because Julia Whelan narrates it, and I bought the audiobook before I found that in the thrift store. Another Romantasy book that I have no idea what it's about, but I bought because I have FOMO and everybody else is reading it. Can you guess what it is? That is Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. And I actually did see Glow of the Everflame. That one has also released. They're doing something similar to Bridge Kingdom, where they're releasing the whole series basically a month out from each other, because, you know, these are just coming out for the first time in a traditional sense, but they've been out in the indie world for a while. So yeah, I saw Glow of the Everflame and again had restraint, did not buy, even though I wanted to. But I was like, read the first one. If you like it, then buy the second one. What like a revolutionary concept. So we have this, no idea what it is about, but I know everybody's reading it. I know I like Romantasy, and I know I don't want to be left out of things, so there we go. We have Spark of the Everflame. Next is a book that I honestly would not buy now, but I had it pre-ordered, and I totally forgot that I had it pre-ordered because this book was supposed to come out in December of 2023, and then I think it was postponed to like February of 2024, and then it got postponed to later in there, and then it got postponed once again. And by the time it got postponed once again, I had totally forgot that I had even ordered this book. And that is Bloodguard by Ceci Robinson, or Robson, not Robinson, it's Robson. But it's cute, it's cool. It has this, I don't really remember what this book is about. The reason why I bought this book is because I bought this right after reading Fourth Wing. It is the same publisher as Fourth Wing, and I was so in love with Fourth Wing. I was like, I need to see what else this publishing company is publishing. I saw this with the sprayed edges, and this is like before everybody and their mother was publishing sprayed edges. I feel like this was like kind of in the beginning of the hype, because I think Fourth Wing was the first book to really do that on a mass scale for a new release. And I just thought, because this also had sprayed edges, it was a similar publishing company, that I would have a Fourth Wing experience reading it. I don't know if that's warped thinking, but that was my thinking, and we'll see if it comes true when I finally get around to reading it. But in the meantime, it's a gorgeous, beautiful edition of a book. Okay, next we have another Romantasy I bought because of the hype. I need to stop doing that, but do I really? I don't know. We'll see once I read these if I like them or not. Like, that will determine if I need to keep doing that or not. This one is Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. I'm sure that's a pen name, but I'm obsessed. I wish that was her real name, and maybe it is her real name. And if that is her real name, she has amazing parents, because Olivia Rose Darling, love that name. Okay, so we have Fear the Flames. No idea what it's about. Has a dragon on the front. I love me some dragons, so there we go. There we go. I have another popular dragon romantasy in that pile over there. Can you guess which one it is? I'll let you guess while I go get that pile. Okay, the romantasy book is at the end, so you still have some time to guess. The next two books I have are both Book of the Month books, but I thrifted them. The first one being Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. This is a mystery thriller that everybody was talking about this year, and I slacked on reading it. Mainly because the wait time at my library was always so long for the audiobook, and I didn't really want to buy a physical copy of it because there's so many other things I was buying. And then eventually I ended up finding it in the thrift store. So now we will be physically reading this book, and I'm excited. It's about like a podcast, I think. True crime podcast. What if you thought you murdered your best friend, and if everyone else thought so too, and what if the truth doesn't matter? Well, that sounds fun. That sounds fun. That sounds entertaining. It sounds interesting. I'm excited. The next book I picked up at the thrift store was The Resort by Sarah Oakes. It says she thought it was the perfect getaway. ... I'm sorry, you throw a pink sunset on the cover and it's a mystery thriller and it's tropical, like, I will buy it. I will eat it up. I don't know why. I just love a good tropical pink sunset mystery thriller. I'm just drawn to them. I think it's because it's so freaking beautiful that I'm just drawn to them, and I need them and I want them. This one is It Was a Vacation to Kill For. Obsessed. This was somebody's February Book of the Month pick. It says, welcome to paradise. We hope you survive your stay. Interesting. Fun. I have no idea what it's about. When I went to add it on my Goodreads, though, it has really bad ratings, but we're not gonna read the ratings. We're gonna go in on our own and make up our own mind about things. But yeah, the average star rating is not looking good on this one. Next, we have this book that I got on Black Friday. I bought it when I bought the Richard Osman book, and there's a reason why I bought it, and that is The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. One, I bought it because it is signed by Miss Geneva Rose, which we love. Oh my god, beautiful signature. And the other reason I bought this is because Geneva Rose is coming out with a sequel to this called The Perfect Divorce. Now that one will be releasing in hardcover. Well, the Perfect Marriage originally released in paperback, so I own the paperback edition. Well, now it's in my unhaul pile over there, but I own the paperback edition. I cannot have a paperback of The Perfect Marriage and then buy The Perfect Divorce and have it be hardcover and have it look like that. Absolutely not. So I knew I needed this book in hardcover so that my formats would match when I bought the new release. And that is how I ended up buying this on Black Friday, and it helped that it was signed, right? I was like, okay, yeah, now's the time to do it because it's signed. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was fun. I wasn't obsessed with the ending. I do have criticisms of the ending of this book, but overall it was very enjoyable and fun. So, like, when I look back on this book, I don't have any negatives. I only have positives, even though I know I disagreed with the ending. I only have positive vibes looking back. Next book I have is The Crimson Crown by Heather Walter. This was my Book of the Month pick from I don't know when, but I was very intrigued. This book is a retelling and it follows the evil witch, I believe, in the Snow White series, and this is kind of her story. It says, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the wickedest of them all? Very fun. It says, Snow White's Dark Queen tells her side of the story in this queer witchy reimagining of the classic fairy tale from the author of Malice. Very fun. Honestly kind of giving me Wicked vibes in a way, right? Like retelling from the bad guy's perspective. Are they really the bad guy? And it's a queer retelling, which we all know Wicked Gelfie, like that's a thing. So there we go. We have this, which is giving me Wicked vibes, but not an international phenomenon. But hey, maybe it will be one day. We have a batch of Christmas books to talk about. First, we have Make the Season Bright by Ashley Herring Blake. I freaking loved this book so much. So I read this book in 2 sittings. It took me 1 sitting to read the first part, and then I was like, the next part, I was like, oh, you know, there's 200 pages left in this book. Let me read 50 pages. I'll finish it tomorrow. No, I read all 200 pages in one setting. I did not move. My eyes were glued to the page. I just devoured this book. I loved the relationship so much. I loved the characters. I loved the setting. I loved every inch and aspect about this book. I thought it was so cozy, Christmassy, fun, sweet, and romantic. And I am not a second chance romance girl, but this turned me into a second chance romance girl because I don't like second chance romance, because I'm like, you break up for a reason. I never really believe the reason they break up and get back together, but this I found believable. I liked it. I mean, I could have criticisms of it, and maybe I do in my head, but I will not say those aloud because this was great and everybody should read it. Next Christmas book I have is The Mistletoe Mystery by Geneva Rose. This is a cute little novella. I have read this one as well. I don't remember if I rated 3.5 stars or 4 stars. I don't remember. But if you want to skip this one because it's a novella, you probably could skip it. If you're looking for like a Christmassy murder mystery, this is not the book for you. This is the book for you if you like the first 2 books in the Maid series. You really love Molly the Maid. You love the cast of characters at the hotel. If you're invested in her relationship with Juan Manuel, then you'll like this book, right? But if you're not invested in any of that and you only want the mystery element, I don't think you want this. This is really slice of life at the hotel during Christmas time. It really focuses a lot on Molly's relationship with her boyfriend, and there is a little mystery in there, but it's not like a murder mystery or anything like that. So we have this. It was very obvious what was going to happen from the first chapter, but I loved it anyway. It was a fun time. Next Christmas book we have is I'll Get Back to You by Becca Grishow. I don't really know what this is about, but I bought it because I just wanted a fun Christmas read. The cover looked cute. This is, I think, fake dating from people that knew each other in high school, but they never had a relationship or anything, and then they end up fake dating as adults, and then I think they actually fall in love. And it's Christmassy, cute. I bought it because I don't know why, I was in a really big Christmas mood this year. Like, there's so many Christmas books I wanted to read, so I got that one. Next, I have 3 books that are all from the same series, so I'm going to show them all at once, and that is the Dream Harbor series. So first we have the first book, The Pumpkin Spice Café, which I liked. I rated 3.5 stars or 4 stars, don't really remember, but it was fun, it was enjoyable. I do want to say, if you did not like this book, I would power through. Like, if you're on the fence about this book, or if it was a 3-star for you, I would power through to the next book, which is The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, because this one, 4.5 stars. Absolutely love this book. It was so good. I recently watched Chandler Ainsley's video where she's like reading all the romances for Goodreads Choice Awards, and this book she rated 2 stars and she didn't like it, and her reason for not liking it is she's like, it's very low stakes romance, it's very cozy, not much happens, there's no drama. That's kind of the gist of what she was saying, and even though she was saying that in critical ways then she did not like it, I agree with that. Like, I agree with everything she said. Like, those things are true. It's cozy, it's low stakes, no drama, but I personally really enjoy that. I read a range of genres, and when it comes to romance, I really do not like a toxic man. There is just, even things that maybe aren't super toxic but I perceive as red flags, I don't like it. I want emotionally mature characters, and they can communicate, and there's no drama, and we're just there for the good time and the love of their relationship. Like, I don't need 3rd act breakups and this and that. No, I just want fun times. I want fun, cozy times. This is great for the atmosphere. I will say, it looks like it's fall on the cover. Most of this book takes place in summer, so you don't have to read it in the fall time. This would be like a great August read, to be honest. So really enjoyed this. So if you like small town, really nice characters, and cozy vibes, you would love this series. And then the last book I picked up in this series is The Christmas Tree Farm, which I have not read yet, but I will before the end of December. So we have The Christmas Tree Farm, which I'm planning to read after I read The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. Then we're moving on to The Christmas Tree Farm. Okay, and then actually this is not the last book. We have one more book after this, but this is my last Romantasy book we're going to talk about, and this is my last. Did you guess what my last Dragon Romantasy book was? If you haven't guessed, put in your guesses, drop them in the comments, because here it is. Here is my last Dragon Romantasy book that I bought. It is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. This book has been out in a while in paperback. I have been waiting for the hardcover to come out because I just need it, because when the sequel comes out, it's going to come out in hardcover. The same thing with The Perfect Marriage. We must have matching formats. And no idea what it's about. I just know it's super hyped. Everybody loves it. There's dragons and it's a beautiful cover. Has pretty sprayed edges. and that's all I needed to convince me. FOMO was enough to convince me to buy a book. Okay, so there we go. We have When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. And the very last book that I have, I about died when I saw it. I about died when I saw it. I saw it at the thrift store. And I'm gonna choose to believe this is real. Like, there's no way of me knowing for sure that this is real. I am choosing to believe it is real. I'm not trying to sell this book that I'm about to show you on eBay. So like, there's really no need to really authenticate it and ruin my parade, right? Like, I think it's real, and we're gonna keep it that way. And I actually genuinely do think that. But like, if you think otherwise, I don't want to know. Genuinely, just don't want to know. So I was in a thrift store, and I found this Harry Potter book. And it's in this like really cool like cardboard case, and I've never seen it in this cardboard case. I look at the top of it, and it looks like it is signed by the author. Like, I know that this author is problematic, and I disagree with a lot of what this author does. Honestly, my whole Harry Potter collection has been thrifted. I have not spent a dime towards her, but it is still kind of cool to have a signed edition book by her, especially one that you thrift. Like, that is super cool. So we have this, and that's super cool. Honestly though, the funny part about it is Deathly Hallows is my least favorite Harry Potter book. I don't know if that's controversial or not, but it is my least favorite. But anyway, the reason why I think this is real is if you like, okay, first of all, I compared it to others of people who are selling it on eBay, and based on like the pen strokes and everything, like, I think it's real. And then also, if you like glide your finger over it, like where the signature is, like it's indented into the cardboard. Like, in like, you know, like the pen's pushing down into the cardboard, and you can feel like the indentation of the signature here. So that is why I think it is real. And I bought it for $25 freaking, okay? $25 for a signed Deathly Hallows. Now, the book itself is not signed, it's just the case that is signed, but regardless, we love. It's on display on my Harry Potter shelf, and that was probably the best thrift find that I have ever had in the book section. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Subscribe down below, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.
It was a long time from where we started, day to day. I had these feelings